In the crazy world of Frostborn, there is 7 support staffs in Frostborn. They can be used in PvE, PvP, and all sorts of situations. I'm here to show you thy mastery of the staffs of Frostborn. Welcome there, and this is Kingoftryinit, always trying it, and I'm here to talk about the staffs. So these are all the staves or staffs in the game of Frostborn. They're all support, so I will not be talking about the combat ones today. This one is obviously the equivalent of a grey staff or a common, and it does very low damage, being at 6 damage, pretty much standard hit when you're in healer class or any other normal class in general. So if you're a berserker and you use this staff, you're still going to use 6 damage unless you buff. So really and truly, this staff in particular is only going to be useful for just healing and Odins. You're not going to really want to attack with this weapon. It's too weak. Even when you're in sorcerer, you're getting a 2 extra damage, which is going to be 8. Maybe you'll use it on the final Odin's fight. If you want to check on the top right now of TK1's video, it will show you there that he uses a lot of these common staffs to beat the boss. Now we're going to the second staff. Now this staff is still not very good, but it is stronger than the other one. This is a green uncommon staff, so it is better. It lasts longer, so all green weapons, if you didn't know, have a 10 or 20% draw buff increase, so it's actually lasting longer than it did before since the update, but the damage is still very low on it, and that damage is to clock in at 8. You can get that off a basic staff in sorcerer mode. Of course, if you go into sorcerer mode, as I'm just about to show you here, you're going to start doing damage like 10, which is still another 2 increase, which is okay, on a long boss fight. To make this weapon isn't really expensive. Of course, if you buff yourself up with this, you're going to get another attack on top of that, and obviously you can stack it with the mushroom buff and everything else. Now this staff is called the healer staff. Now it's not called the healer staff for a good reason, because it should increase healing. I really do want to talk to the devs about that. But the damage of a standard is 11, so it's still a little bit stronger. But get this staff is a staff you cannot make, but it's still an uncommon green staff, and it increases defense by 3. So the first other 2 staffs did 1 defense, the other 2 staff, one before this one, did 2 defense, and this one does 3. So you are getting an increased defense of 3 in the right situation. This staff is going to keep you alive in certain damages in PvP. It may even make you last a fight on 1 or 2 health type thing when trying to escape the enemy. So that staff is good to bring to a PvP zone, because it's the speed is like 2.0, which is quite fast, and it's decent damage as well. It's just sad that there's no extra actual player damage you can do with it. So ideally, you might want to use another staff, but if you haven't got anything else, that staff is just as good. Now the blessed staff. The blessed staff gives a 5% to everyone around you, but you no longer get an armor buff, which is really important to note. So all the other staff gave you extra armor, this one does not. It only gives you 5% in damage. So we're doing 15 including the 5% increase, which is quite good. The speed of the staff is also really good, but to be honest, again, it's support staff, so this is if you're in a team. The blessed staff is more useful in a team. All support staffs are good in the team, but this one, if you're going to PvP, this is more likely. It's only going to give you 1 extra damage. However, 5% if you find a damage weapon that does 40 or 50 above, then you're going to get an extra 3 to 4 damage on top of that. So really and truly, this weapon is going to be good if you're using really high damaging weapons. Now this staff is debatable. All right, a lot of people say that this staff is a waste of space and a waste of time. This staff, when you hit enemies, heals you. As you can see, it's very slow as well. It clocks in really slow at a very slow speed. So the only thing I can really suggest for this weapon is PvE, really, because you can see the normal standard hit on the sorcerer style is 36 damage. It is the battle axe of staffs. It's slow but hits hard, real hard. And obviously you're going to see the normal damage now of this staff which is gonna come in from, it should come in for about 32 damage, I'm assuming. It should be about 30. So you lose 6 damage if you're in healing status. So you're not going to be doing a lot. And if someone's wearing, you know, plate armor or high defense armor, you're probably going to be doing 10s or 11s, which is on a slow weapon is not very good. But this weapon is very good for mastery points. Hell Staff. Now this is the top of the crop of support staff, and it gives 18 armor compared to the 3 armor from the other staffs. This gives 18 armor, which is ridiculous. Team up with a tank with full plate, they're going to be tanky as hell. They're going to be very hard to kill if you've got this in your team. Highly valuable for PvP. PvE is good for when you stack it with a knife damage. As you can see there, I do 29 in healing class. 29 damage is pretty decent, to be honest, but that is with the 10% increase. So I'm assuming whatever, I'm not doing the math now because I can't be asked, but it's 10% whatever the base staff of that weapon is. Okay, so it's increasing from that point. So I think it's 26. So when we go into sorcerer mode now, which we're just about to go into, it actually nearly goes to the same damage as a blue staff, because right now the blue staff is stronger than the hell staff, including with the buff. So if you get the blue staff with someone in hell staff in your party, that's going to make that blue staff really OP in a PvE environment. So now you can see now with hell staff, I'm now taking 35 of enemies, and if you put it with the buff that you do in sorcerer mode, you're now doing 38. Ridiculous. So to be honest, if you have a 2 team of that, 2 sorcerers, and you got one with the blue staff, I'm assuming you're going to be in 42, 44. That's a lot of damage on monsters, all right? And a lot of monsters have no armor bonus. So when you're doing that damage, you're doing that damage. And you got to remember that you can repair that. So hell staff, highly suggested for PvP. PvE, Odin's, get someone to buff with demon potion, use a hell staff, and then let them do the dagger move, or get a really strong weapon and let a sorcerer take a hit, or get a berserker too, and then, you know, do all that again, what I've just said, and buff it all up. That is the best way to use all these 7 staffs in this game. If I've missed anything or misinterpreted anything, let me know. And yeah, this is Kingoftryinit, always trying it. Hope you enjoyed Know Thy Weapon Staffs.